Hello everyone, welcome to the 101% podcast where we talk about mindset, motivation, discipline, how to always push yourself, how to become a beast and how to defeat struggle. This podcast will help you to get a better life, that's 101% for sure. I'm your host Joakim and together with me is the co-host and my sister Annika. Welcome to this podcast. Hello ladies and gentlemen, kuinka puchai, señores, señoritas, boys and girls. Let's go! So today I'm gonna do a solo podcast by myself just to check how this is. My top teammate Annika is training and start to prepare herself for a Muay Thai match. It's gonna be 2 weeks. Today is the last day in October and Halloween day. The winter is getting closer. In today's episode we will talk about our podcast journey so far. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Let's get started! Welcome everyone. Today we are at episode 12 already. Time flies when you're having fun. Feels like yesterday we started, but it's been a month already. It has been an exciting and interesting journey. We have learned a lot. This podcast has boosted our knowledge and personal development a lot. It has pushed us to perform better and to perform every day. We have to deliver. So one of our goals is to always make the next podcast episode better than the previous episode. We want our listeners to be entertained, that you also have learned a lot of things that is valuable for you. Our goal is that you're gonna live with a good feeling after every episode. Podcast business is a lot more work than people would think. It's not just sitting in front of a mic and talk, as I do now. That have been great, but sadly it's not like that. We have to research a lot and plan the episode. We have to record the episode. After we have done the recording, we have a chat together and we talk what have we done good and what was not so good. What can we do better? And after that, we have to edit the episode. And we used to go over the episode 2 times and edit it. Then while we are editing the episode, we analyze the episode and then we upload the episode on different platforms. Then we have to advertise for the episode. So we use around from 7.5 to 10 hours work to produce one episode. And when we are not producing a podcast episode, we are working on to become a better storyteller. Have to study other storyteller and great communicators. We have to learn to entertain more because this has to be entertaining also. It's very important. If it's not entertaining, people will not hear. Always try to get our communication skills better. We study other successful people and other great communication. Other great communicators. You have Joe Rogan. He's a great communicator. You have Dana White, great one. You have Jordan Peterson, great one. And Andrew Tate is great communication. I believe he's the best one out there in the world now. He's amazing good to communicate. To know when to be funny, when to be sarcastic, when to be serious, how he use his voice when he talk. Because you cannot talk the same time. You have to have different frequencies when you talk. And he's a master on this one. We know exactly when to be funny, when to be serious, how to say things, and he know exactly when to say things. What's the perfect point to doing it? He is a great guy to study if you want to become better. If you like him or not, that's up to you. But you cannot say he's not a great communicator because he is great. So you have to study how they talk, how they use their body language. Now we are also start to study how to do an interview podcast. So we can start to have guests in our podcast and interview them. Now we have a conversational podcast. That's a podcast with a host and a co-host. That's the main, or gonna be our that's the main concept of our podcast, and we usually gonna have that. But we would like to have more and more guests also in our podcast. And then we have to learn the skills of interview, get the conversation flowing, do research. So that's the thing we work about now. and always work about how we can make our podcast better on a lot of areas. Have to learn about marketing, how to get more followers, and learn the podcast business, how to run a podcast, and also learn to use social media and how to earn money on this business. The difference between a hobby and a business is that a hobby takes money out of your pocket, while a business put money inside of your pocket. You have to learn to post on different social media accounts. We make a future plan for our podcast, looking for sponsors, and have to learn more about editing. Always work to upper our game. The content and everything we do and have to be better and better. 101% cup, great cup, nice logo, and you get a lot of coffee inside it. So that's a good one. And we contact and talk with people who can learn us more about the business and also how to run a business. What thing we have to think and consider about, because it's so many things you have to think and learn. So it's always great to talk with people who have done this and know a lot about it. So you take advice from many different places and you put it and you make it your own system. So it's a lot of things to work on, but it's fun to learn a lot of new things and fight to become better and better. Try to become more skillful and start to put the building blocks together. So we start to make this business successful and great. Before we start the 101% podcast, our first goal was to give out 21 episode. Because when you have give out 21 episode, you are at the top 1% of the podcaster in the world. To get to the top 1% best podcaster in the world, you have to give out 21 episode and more. Because 99% of the podcast, they start and they stop between 3 and 20 episode. Because it is very hard. You have to come up with a lot of stuff. You have to have conversation. You have to entertain, tell story. And it is a lot of work and you have to get new topic. You always need a lot of things to talk about. So it is hard. It's much harder than people think. We just have to work on, plan it, continue to work, enjoy the journey, and always try to get better. And it's exciting, yeah? It is a fight to get better and better. But I have learned myself to enjoy it. I enjoy it, yeah? I will see how much we can do, how far we can go. And yeah, it is challenging sometimes. But it's also exciting because we're gonna make it. We're gonna push us further, learn more. Sometimes it's been tough and it's been a struggle, but you just push, you keep going, and you get through it, and it became better and better. And then sometimes you hit a bump again, but you just keep going, and you get through it, and you became better and better and better. So it's a very exciting journey. So we are very excited for reach 21 episode. Today is the 12th episode, yeah. So not so far left. So that's our first big goal, 21 episode. Whoa. And when we are at the 21 episode, our next goal to reach is of course 101 episode. And when we reach that, then we have really crushed it. When you have give out 101 episode of a podcast, you are a real killer who execute episode after episode after episode. So that's our goal. And always have goal. Before we reach our 21 episode goal, we already have a goal to 101 episode. So, and this is same with so many things in life. Yeah, you always have to have new goals, because when you reach your goal and you not have any future goal, you just stop, yeah, and you became less good, and the process will stop. So always keep adding goal. But also when you reach your goals, celebrate it, mark it and celebrate it. That's important. Celebrate your success. About feedbacks, we have only worked for 1 month now, but what we have achieved in that first month, this is the 12th episode we record, and today we have already give out 8 episodes. We have make a web page. We have make so many technical things also. So all that we have made together in 1 month, I will say I am very proud of Annika and myself for everything we have done so far. I feel that we have, if we consider how little experience we have in this podcast world so far, so I will say we have make a good podcast so far, and I'm very proud of the result we get so far, and I'm very excited for the journey keep going. And feedbacks, it have been a lot of good feedbacks from people. We appreciate that a lot. That give us more motivation and energy to keep going with this podcast and make good content and entertain you guys. Many people think that it is tough of us to go all in this podcast business, and cool that we are trying to build something. And some people recognize themselves in some things we think and find it motivation, and that's so great to hear. We would like to make the life for the listeners better, and come with tips and recommendation and share honest opinions we have. Our goal is to make a better life for you guys. Many people have cheered for us. They wish us the best and hope we will do well. We are very grateful for that. So thank you so much for everyone who have reached out to support us with great feedbacks. The thing that have surprised us is that a lot of people we would think would contact us with feedback after we start this podcast, we haven't heard a word from. And some of the people who have contacted us, we became surprises that they contacted us, but we are very happy they reached out and contact us with feedback. So that's great. So it is what it is. People can do what they want. So about the continuing of the show, we still gonna crush it and give out 2 episodes every Tuesday and Friday for you guys. We're gonna keep working for our content to be better and better. Always strive to become better. Analyze ourselves. Was this episode good? Was it not good? Try to become better to tell storytelling. Entertain more. And about this communication skills we talk about, it is very important. It is important in our podcast, in your job, in your daily life, in your relationship, to make networking. Everything in your life is important about this communication skills. So the communication skills is a thing I can recommend everyone to work about. Find some people you like to hear. Do you think they are a great speaker and communicator on YouTube, and just study how they do and try to adapt and take the things that is good and adapt it to your own life, and try to become better and better, because it will gain your life a lot when you is a better communication. You became better to tell stories. You became more fun. Then you became a more interesting person. And I am working about it. Andrew Tate say one of the best skills you can have is to be a super communicator. That's a very powerful skills. Not so many people talk about. We think about the podcast from start to now. Our goal is always to make the next episode better than the previous year, as I said before. We think about when we just started the first and second episode. We was very nervous. We wasn't ourselves. Yeah, very nervous. We tried to not speak wrong, and we wasn't ourselves on the first episode and a little bit on the second. But when we have done this sometime, we start to become more relaxed now and find ourselves, and we try to enjoy it more. And now it's much more natural when we talk together. Today I am making a solo episode for the first time. A little bit nervous, but I prepare myself as good as I can before I start. And when I just start and I feel this go well, not so bad or difficult as I think it was. Because of the preparation, often before you're starting, you think this is gonna be not so good, and you worry a little bit. But when you start to doing thing and you keep going and you are inside of it, it's not so bad as it look like. This is same about the traffic in Thailand. Yeah? The traffic in Thailand is crazy. They drive like crazy. And when you stand at the sideline and you look at the traffic, it looks so crazy. But when you are inside the traffic and drive by yourself, it's not as crazy as it is when you look it from the outside. As I told earlier in this episode, we have given out 8 episodes already, yeah? And it's funny to see how much better episode 8 is than episode 1, 2, and 3, and like this. All episodes we have given out now, episode 8 is definitely the best one. So that's funny to see how we growed and how things became better. But we are very hard on ourselves. Yeah, we give out episode. We have to analyze. We have to look at it many times and see what we have done good and not so good, and try to take away the things we have done bad and do it better and better. Yeah. And about my English, yeah, when I start, I can speak a lot of English and I understand a lot, but my English was not so good. I will admit that. So that was not so good, but I try to learn much more English now. I speak a lot English, and I often go by myself too, and I speak English with myself, and I would try to start to speak English more with some people close to me. And I look English videos on YouTube, and I often stop the video, and I speak the same as they do, and I listen podcast, and I try to speak and say the same way they do, because I want to be better and better, yeah. I have to try to be a professional, yeah? Not here like I just start to speak English. So just try to be better and better, yeah? So we're gonna continue, keep learning, evolve, trying to become better and better. And we also would like to buy some training course about how to make a podcast and how to take your podcast to the next level, learn about marketing, everything like that. And then we go out in the internet and I look and I try to find the best one. I know I have found the best one, and we will buy this course. And we are still studying other podcaster and other interesting people. Learn. Always be very humble. Yeah, we are so new to this game, and a lot of things we don't know. So I am humble. I just want to learn. I want to see what other people do. Of course, I try by myself and find out things by myself also. But I will try to see and study other people, so it's not need to take too long time to become too good. Because I not need to find up the wheel by myself when it's already out there. The time fly. I not have time to waste a second on thing that's not gain in this podcast when I work about this podcast business. So I have to try to be efficient. If you actually do your best and work as hard as you can on a smart way and never give up, it is impossible to not succeed. In my mind, I am 101% convinced that we're going to make this podcast successful and that we can live off this podcast business in the future. I see our podcast future success so clear in my mind now. If you can see it here and you have the courage enough to speak it, it will happen. When you say it and you truly believe in it and you put it out there, you are creating the law of attraction and it will become reality. You send out frequency to the universe and the universe will send it back to you. How has it been to make a solo podcast today? Between you and me guys? I actually feel it went very well. I didn't get in some tough discussion or didn't even get in a fight in today's episode. So I have to be satisfied and happy about that. I done a lot of preparation, yeah, before this podcast episode. And then things became more easy, of course. When you're prepared, not get so nervous and things flow better. And if it didn't went so well, this podcast, okay, then I will do it better next time and next time and next time. And suddenly one day, Joe Rogan calls me and asks if I can be his mentor and learn him to make a podcast. So I just gonna keep going and going. I used to tell myself that I am a machine and that I am unstoppable. I just keep going and going. And guys, not to brag, but just to tell the truth, I have an insane work ethic. I have pushed myself so hard for so many years, and I have built up a very high tolerance to push myself extreme hard, physically and mentally. It is like this with a lot of things we people do. When we go harder and longer many times, our tolerance became higher and higher. This is with everything we do. Same with stress. If you put a lot of stress on yourself and work to become better to handle the stress, you will become better and better. And then you can handle much more stress without that you became stressed and that drains you. Always work to improve yourself on a lot of important area in your life. Little by little, you're gonna become better and better. Isn't that an exciting journey to be on? What an exciting journey you are on. Keep developing yourself. Always evolve. Always become better. One thing more, check off my list about to be out of my comfort zone after I do this solo episode. And next time I will do it, I will be not worry or nothing. So that's a great. Just push myself, and now I already have done it. And next time I will do it, it will become much more easy. I would like to end this show with this quote. The real pain in life is getting to the end of it and realizing that you left something on the table, that I have unfilled potential. I could have done more, and I didn't. The real pain in life is getting to the end of it and realizing that you left something on the table, that I have unfilled potential. I could have done more, and I didn't. If you would like to support this podcast with a small donation so we can keep growing this show and make this podcast better for you guys, we have some donation link on our homepage, the 101percentpodcast.com. The percent sign you have to write with letters. You can donate with PayPal, debit and credit card. We also have Vips for the Norwegian, Swedish, Denmark and Finland. And we also take crypto donation. We appreciate all donation. Thank you so much for supporting this podcast. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram on this podcast account, the 101% podcast. If you like this episode, make sure to share this podcast episode with a friend and review the show on Apple Podcast. Thank you to all the audience for listening. We appreciate you all a lot. Hope that you will come back and listen to our next episode. Until next time, take care and give it your best.